Hello guys, welcome to this video where I'll be analysing the physique of our favourite struggler, Guts from Berserk. Guts has honed his physique over years of brutal training and fighting experience into an extremely strong and powerful form. In this video, I'll analyse which muscles are particularly developed and give you a program you can use to get closer to achieving this legendary physique. I think the most important aspect of Guts' physique is that every part of his body is thick. He has thick arms, thick neck, and importantly, his torso is thick as well. Like, he doesn't have a skinny little waist. Everything is just thick and powerful. Except for his lower body, which isn't as important for this physique because he's usually wearing trousers and his legs aren't that massive compared to his upper body. Clearly from this picture you can see he has enormous traps, including lower traps and his spinal erectors as well on either side of his spine, his lower back. You can see the rear delts and all the muscles of the back are just thick and very well developed. You can see here how thick his torso is, like his waist is not skinny at all. And his abs are very well trained from swinging that sword around. You can see how thick they are. They're not the abs of someone who just has low body fat and no muscle development there. They're someone who has really trained abs and has a really strong core. You see this kind of thing in CrossFit athletes who have like a really thick core and very well developed abs, because a lot of their training requires real ab strength. You can see in this picture his chest and shoulders, his arms as well. He has really good bicep insertions which make his biceps look massive, and you can see the way his traps and his neck connect up to the back of his head. And in this picture you can clearly see the fullness of his bicep, well developed abs and the big chest. So most important muscle groups are certainly all found in the upper body. Everything is like thick and well developed, so thick back, neck, arms, torso, and his legs are not that important for this physique. But we're still going to train them a little bit so that they're not completely lagging behind and making you look disproportionate. So the program is going to be 3 days a week in the gym, and then on the off days, Tuesday and Thursday, you're doing the neck exercises and the ab stuff. If you're likely to skip the ab stuff on the off day, then I would put it at the end of your workout on one of the gym days, so you're not going to skip that because that's pretty important. Monday is a pretty heavy day, so you're doing heavy squats, heavy bench press, heavy barbell rows, and then barbell curls, which are going to be heavier than the dumbbell version of this exercise. And also you're doing overhead triceps extensions to hit the long head of the tricep, which is what gives it that meaty, thick appearance. The idea is you should choose a weight where you just about struggle to get the last couple of reps. So with a squat, you want to be struggling to get the 4th and 5th rep, but you should be able to do like 1 or 2 or 3 more reps afterwards. But it has to be a little bit difficult, otherwise you're not really challenging the muscle and it has no real reason to grow. I strongly encourage you not to skip squatting. Even though it's hard, it will develop all the muscles of your legs, and the testosterone boost you get from squatting will help you build your upper body as well. So squatting will help you build your upper body, which is why you shouldn't skip it. Bench press is going to hit the chest and the shoulders and the triceps, all of which are pretty important for Guts' physique. And on this day we're doing heavy bench press. Later in the week we'll do lighter version with higher reps, so more volume. When you're doing the barbell rows, try to keep them strict. On the last rep or two you're going to struggle to maintain perfect form, but just don't be swinging around like squatting up and down using your legs to move the weight instead of your lats. And with the barbell curls, if you find it easier, you can use an easy bar. I find this is much easier on my wrists. And if that's still too painful on your wrists or your elbows, you can just use dumbbells instead. For all of these exercises, try not to cheat the weight too much. You want to keep it fairly strict and controlled reps and not using momentum to help you complete the reps. On Tuesday, you do neck extensions and neck curls. So just find a bench or the end of your bed or something and hang your head like over the edge of the bed or the bench. And if you're a beginner, then just start with no weight and move your head basically up and down like you're saying yes. And this motion done on your back is called a neck curl, and if you're on your front and you do the yes motion, it's called a neck extension. And these are the 2 basic exercises for building your neck muscles. And then after this you're going to do 3 reps of knee raises for as many reps as you can. That's what AMRAP means, is as many reps as possible. You can do this hanging off a bar or supporting yourself on some parallel bars. On Wednesday we're going to do 2 sets of 5 on deadlift, and this is going to be pretty heavy. The reason we don't do more sets than this is because deadlift is so taxing on the entire nervous system and the body as a whole that it's hard to recover from. If you're doing high volume, high intensity deadlifts, it's just going to wipe out your recovery for that week. And deadlifts are not super important for this physique in the leg component. Mostly we just care about like the back component of deadlifts, so the spinal erectors and all the support muscles. And I suggest you go strapless when you're doing deadlifts, so don't use straps to help you lift the weight off the floor. And by going strapless, you're going to develop your forearms as well, which is important considering there's no direct forearm work in this program. For overhead press, we're going to do 3 sets of 10, which I find is ideal. 2 high reps and the blood will drain out of your arms and your arms are going to go numb. And if it's too heavy, it's kind of hard to use your shoulders for this because you're going to end up arching your back a lot and cheating the reps if you're not very experienced. 10 reps is generally like a nice rep range for just about any exercise. It's going to develop strength a little bit and it's very good for hypertrophy. For weighted pull-ups, I like to go heavy because the purpose of this exercise is to develop maximal vertical pulling strength, and we're getting more back volume later on in the week with the one-arm dumbbell rows. Next is a close grip bench press, which is mostly a tricep exercise, so you should focus on feeling your triceps rather than pushing with your chest or your shoulders. And lastly is a trap bar shrug, which is going to develop your traps. Obviously guts has massive traps, so this is pretty important, and your traps can take a lot of beating, so you can go quite heavy with this. And I like doing high reps as well, just to really pump the blood into the traps and get a massive trap pump. Thursday is basically a repeat of Tuesday with neck curls and extensions, and then another ab exercise, which is the hollow body hold. And on Friday we're doing high rep squats, so that's 5 sets of 10, and we're doing slightly higher volume bench press, so 3 sets of 10, which as I said earlier is a great rep range for hypertrophy. And then we're doing one arm dumbbell rows, 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps on each arm. This is one of my favorite back exercises. The stretch you get at the bottom is more extreme, I think, than the stretch you get on a barbell row because you have slightly more range of motion, and this one gets my back pumped like nothing else. Following that up with dumbbell curls for the biceps and triceps push downs for the triceps, which you can basically just blast out high reps and pump the muscles with as much blood as possible. On all of these exercises, like I mentioned earlier, the goal is to get within a couple reps of failure. So you want to be struggling to get the last few reps, because this is what is going to force the muscle to adapt to this new challenging stimulus. If you are training hard, challenging your muscles, going close to failure, and you're eating lots of food and you're sleeping a lot, ensuring your recovery is on point, then you're going to make progress. You're going to get stronger and bigger. And besides these things, the most important driver of muscle growth is progressive overload, which is getting a little bit stronger every week. So adding a bit of weight to the bar every week, or adding a rep to each set, or doing like an extra set each week. So maybe on week 1 you do squat for 3 sets of 5 with 50 kilos, and on week 2 you do the same sets and reps with 52 kilos, or like you start with 100 pounds and then you move on to like 105 pounds and so on. And if you're a beginner, you can continue progressing like this for a long time. 6 months to 2 years generally, you can continue progressing in a linear fashion like this and just getting stronger like every week without needing any special programming or periodization or anything like that. So train hard using the exercises in this program, sleep a lot, eat a lot, and add a little bit of weight or an extra rep every week, and you're going to get stronger and bigger, and you're going to get closer to this ideal physique that Guts has. Hopefully you found this useful. If you think it would be more useful to have the exercises pictured on screen in case you're not sure how to do them, then please let me know in the comments. That's what I used to do in my older videos, but I think it's more important for me to explain the programming rather than the individual exercises, because you can find plenty of information on the exercises on the internet, on YouTube, but the programming might require a little bit more explanation. And there are lots of alternatives to these exercises. If you really don't like bench press or you really don't like squat or something, there are other things you can do to develop the same muscles. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if there's any other characters you'd like to see covered, and I'll see you in the next video.